everybody, and welcome to Heads Must Roll, a D&D actual play podcast set in a world of tyranny, corruption, revenge, and vigilante justice. Each of our heroes has had a life-altering brush with corruption in their past. Because of their troubled pasts, our heroes were approached by a stranger who invited them to join an underground secret society of vigilante outcasts. The goal of the secret society is to expose and disrupt tyranny and corruption in the government. These are their adventures. Little vocal fry at the end there. All right. So we'll quick introduce everybody we have here, starting with me. Hello, I'm Jake, and I'm playing Ingus the Clown. In a nutshell, he was a privileged playboy who had a dramatic past that turned him into a aspiring clown with anger issues. Alrighty, next we'll go with Erin.
Hello, I'm Erin. I'm playing Dalana Greydar. She's a half-elf rogue, escaped from a internship that turned out to be a sex cult type situation and has been on the run for a year.
Cool, as cool as that is. We'll go with Devin.
I'm Devin, and I'm playing the character Daniel Sonway, the now level 2 monk who lost his master in a freak government hitman accident and is now out for revenge. Dude.
Totally.
Totally.
All right, Henry, tell us about your character.
Hey, I'm Henry. I'm playing Dektrin Gorin, a human cleric, former member of the Scourge Purgers, an anti-zombie organization, who parted ways with the organization after having some disagreements, we'll say, with the leadership regarding the future of the organization. So now an ex-member on the run, and that's where I'm at.
Cool. So next we have Kurt.
I'm Kurt. I'm playing Riven Larinus. I'm a noble whose recent hobbies now include larceny, theft, and occasionally murder.
Ooh. All right, and then finally we have Sam.
Sam, I'm playing Eli Novaris, a hexblade whose love was taken from him by the man he was an employee of. Managed to escape the dungeons after finding a oddly magical sword and exact his revenge. Now it's about finding life and living it.
Awesome. That is who we are. And now we are ready to play, and I'm going to hand it over to our DM for today, Eric.
All right, and I am Eric, the friendly neighborhood DM for tonight. And so if everyone's ready, we can get rolling. Everyone
Let's do it.
Locked in, ready to roll?
Locked and loaded.
All right, let's do this. Okay. So, where we last left our heroes, they had completed their very first true assignment for the Secret Society of the Branded Hands, in which they met up with a druid that lived outside the town of Bestbofus by the name of Emil, a blind druid that lived outside the city, and he informed them that he wanted them to help him out with a little pest problem that he had. He had some very large lizards that were eating some extremely spicy peppers that he had growing deep within the woods, and so they went to the pepper patch, dispatched of the giant lizards, the timber drakes, and found out that there was also a very young green dragon that was very upset at the spicy peppers being grown there, because come to find out that the peppers only grow when dragon blood is added to the roots. And so the dragon was very upset that the peppers were there, but our party quickly dispatched and bravely fought the dragon and ended its life. And then they went back to Emil and reported that the pest problem was taken care of. And so where we left off, our victorious heroes had gone back to the tree that Emil lived in, and they had gotten a good dinner from Emil and also a good night's rest.
Except for Riven, who stormed off and is sleeping in the woods tonight.
I was very upset about murdering dragons. Very upset.
Yep, so save for one of our heroes that was very mad that one thing that Emil left out of kind of his directions on helping with the pest control problem is that there was a dragon involved, which turns out he knew about the entire time, but didn't tell the party about it, because he was worried that they wouldn't take the job if they knew there was a dragon to take care of.
I mean, it was just little ones, right? They weren't like big dragons.
But from now on, we can just tell everybody that we've killed a dragon, and we'll be like badass.
We've killed multiple dragons, actually.
Well, they were like lizards.
We can also tell people we killed a baby, because
that's kind of true.
That would give us
a child dragon. Yeah.
Yeah,
It all depends on the impression that we want to leave.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Know your
matter of
audience.
He's quite an impression.
You can just leave that detail out. No.
Intimidation check.
King gives us a job, and we're like, oh, great, we've killed babies before, we can handle this, and we like walk out.
You got it.
It's like, I think we should kill those guys, actually. I think we want
there's
them.
a certain market for that, but I don't think we want to be in that market.
No.
Experienced baby killers. A name you can trust.
Oh, man.
The branded baby killers.
The branded baby killer.
That's who we are now.
See it now. I'm
It's a
naming
big
lights.
BK on the hand.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What a life to
Also
live.
for Burger King, home of the Whopper.
I was going to say,
This is not sponsored.
Thanks, Burger King.
No one
Burger
cares
King.
enough to sponsor us. Come on, let's be real.
Until
You
we
guys might
see
have a
Burger-
job to assassinate the Burger King in the
Yeah.
Burger
The
Kingdom.
Burger King.
He's the Burgermeister
The
King.
Burgermeister.
Lord McDonald demands it.
This is a fantasy world filled with hamburgers, denim, and jeggings. So
Yep.
anything
yep.
goes.
What a cursed world we live in. Truly.
What a forsaken place that we've stumbled into.
What a hellscape we take part in. God damn.
I'm feeling chaotic evil coming on.
Boy can dream.
All right. So you wake up bright and early from your beds within the tree that Emil lives in. So he had nice beds of moss on the floor for everyone to sleep in. So it's might be a little stiff in the morning. It's a little bit more firm than the average mattress, but
I was going to say, nice sounds a bit subjective.
it was fluffy. As far as moss is concerned, it was,
The best moss
Write me down.
that money can get.
Sounds
Or
nice.
Yeah.
this is top-end moss.
I exert very little gravity as a halfling, so everything I sleep on is pretty comfortable.
Probably true.
But within the tree, one of our heroes was not spending the night at Emil's within the tree. So, Riven, you had taken off back down the trail kind of towards Bespofus, following kind of the potato trail that brought you in from the
So
cart
I
of
got
potatoes.
to the road, and I realized that because I arrived here buried in potatoes on a pig-drawn carriage, I didn't actually know where I was. So I just kind of sat down and propped myself up on a tree next to the road and spent the night there.
It's okay if you cried.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah, we weren't there, but you can tell us for sure.
Well, there was plenty of food. You could just pick up potatoes that had fallen off the
Raw
back on the way. A
potatoes.
little crunchy, but just think of it like a flavorless apple.
a flavorless apple.
Mm.
That's I like
Sounds
that.
terrible.
That's how that works.
Okay, but the whole party wakes up and Emil kind of like greets everyone, so he's up and he asks everybody to, now that you've kind of completed your first mission, to check back in with Grom and tell him that you had passed your first test.
So we have to make our way back to the city, right?
Yep, so if you follow the roads out, it's going to be... So you guys are close enough to the city that it'll be all kind of essentially major roads to get back. And there'll be kind of road signs along the way, so you'll
Yeah.
be able to find your way back. It's a big enough city that there's... All roads lead to Bespofus.
Cool.
The official slogan.
Yep, it's on their brochure.
It's like Wall Drug, where there's like signs every like 100 yards.
Except that when you actually get into the city, it's a total shithole.
That's
Right,
it,
like Wall
exactly.
Drug.
Which is like
Yeah,
Wall
everything's
Drug.
on fire.
Yeah,
That's-
it's like choosing to go on vacation in Los Angeles. There's a huge promise, and then it's a huge shithole when
That's-
you get here.
And then you go to Hollywood.
Oh my God.
It's dirty.
Yeah,
And Hollywood's great.
yeah. Come to Hollywood, everyone. You'll love it
It's
here.
fucking fantastic. People will offer you blunts at the bus stop. They love it.
Yeah.
Well, they'll
That's
probably
good.
offer
I
you
guess-
more than that, too.
A like 60-ish-year-old
Right.
man at a bus stop once offered me a blowjob for $20.
And you took it?
No,
What a deal.
but I was like very polite. I was like, no, thank you.
At least you were really.
Like,
You should have
Fine
haggled them
gentleman.
down.
I shall turn down that
Held him
offer.
down. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, I love that town.
All right, so Emil has gathered some kind of like nuts, berries, and various kind of mushrooms for breakfast and whatnot, but you guys are free to kind of take whatever food you like and then kind of head back to the city, which will take maybe like half a day of journeying to get back there, so it's very close.
Should we generally decide like who would lead the pack? Like,
who will lead and who will tail it is a general good way to go.
We are all pretty weak, but who is the strongest? Like, who would lead our pack? Probably.
I have 15 hit points.
I have shiny
Who's the most
breastplate.
impatient?
Also me.
that could come.
That's a
into
really
play, too.
bad question.
That's definitely Daniel, but Daniel's the little brother, so he'll be second always.
That's probably true, to be honest. Daniel does love to
Yep.
take second place, so he could like be right there when it happens.
Plus, he might have daddy issues too, right?
I mean, as far as I know, I ain't had no daddy. Just me mammy raised me on the
Just me
cold hard
mammy.
streets of Las Angeles.
Where there's blowjobs at every bus stop.
Come to Los Angeles.
Oh,
Isn't it a
That's
city
rough.
of vampires though?
It's a city of probably mostly vampires.
No
Lots of
teeth.
blowjobs.
No teeth.
Yeah, they love to use the teeth.
That's scary.
Vampire blowjobs.
Mm.
Costs a little more than $20.
It costs your whole fucking life.
That's a terrible way to bleed out, for the record.
Says the doctor.
yeah.
That's terrible. No.
Dr. Sam says getting bit by a
Don't bleed out
vampire on your penis will kill you.
Yeah, well, Dr. Sam ain't never gotten their
I think
penis
so.
bit by vampires.
This is the worst PSA
I'm just
ever.
saying.
They don't bite you in the
You
neck.
do
in
not
Los
want to bleed
Angeles.
out that way.
Not in Las Angeles. No.
They go
You get
for-
bit. They go for the true vein.
Oh my.
The big vein.
What the hell is wrong with us?
This is a perfectly legitimate discussion.
All right, guys, enough with the penis jokes. We have to get to the Full Mass Tavern, okay? Come on.
Man, I'm glad we're
That's a
done with
good
the
point.
penis jokes.
Oh, you gotta
right.
just sneak them in when you can.
Sneak it in, bada bing. But yeah, so
No penis joke intended.
who's gonna lead the way here? I guess I have no problem like leading the way.
Yeah, you're the beginning of the marching band.
Yeah, I'll be like the charismatic face. I'll play a flute. In fact, I'll pull out my flute. And
You
I'll,
have a flute?
yeah, I do.
Sure.
I had to pick an instrument, and it only cost 1 GP, and that's all I had left at the time, so I chose flute.
Nice. little Piccadilly feller, ain't
So
ya?
I'll go ahead and play a little happy marching song as we make our way back to Bez Bofit's.
Can it be a piccolo instead of a flute? Just
Whatever
people-
whatever costs 1 GP.
Whatever
that's
Sam
all I had.
wants.
If it's his size, it's probably a piccolo, right?
Okay.
I was gonna say,
I'll change
yeah,
it to
flute is
a-
probably longer than your arm.
That's true. I will officially change it to a piccolo.
You should have a slide whistle.
Oh yeah.
And then who would be like? So I'm guessing. So then Daniel would be number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. And then who would be the designated caboose?
I'm in no rush. I'll probably be last.
Okay. Deck, do you want to be like 3rd behind Daniel?
I was gonna say, yeah, I think close to Daniel, so that if something attacks from the front,
Okay.
Oh, we're ready to fucking double team that shit?
yes, sir.
I mean, we're the double D's, as far
We
as
are
I
the double
know.
Ds. We are the double
Except we got another D in
Huge
the
lie.
party, so it's essentially the triple Ds.
Sure.
Sure.
So we'll have Deck and Daniel in the front, and then I'll just kind of be off to the side playing my little flute.
Okay. And then Eli's in the back, and then so are we gonna do Daniel, Deck, and then Dalana? Are we doing the triple D maneuver?
We should. It's a
Yeah.
triple D.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
canon.
Just for okay.
Triple D's all the way.
And then triple D.
Riven, what are you drinking?
Bourbon. Jefferson's.
Ooh.
Very
Ooh.
small batch.
That's a
good-
fancy.
good
That's a
one.
fancy little whiskey or little bourbon. Yeah.
Jefferson's
I know,
Bourbon pairs perfectly with the Burger King Whopper.
That's,
Brought to you by
Go to your Burger King today.
Not sponsored by Burger King.
Or Jefferson's.
Please sponsor us.
That'd
Burger
be
King.
great. Wake up with the king.
If I had the king beside me, I know I'd slept soundly.
How could you
I
get out
guess.
of bed?
With that Whopper next to you, you know what I'm saying?
Whopper.
I will encourage everyone to go by starting up my little Happy March song. Doodly-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Is that like Nintendo? What is that?
That's what I heard.
That sounds like a marching song to me.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like the Pied Piper.
That's
So we're just following like the main streets to Bezbofis.
Yep, and so it's very easy because you can still see that there's like potatoes that have rolled off to the sides that will lead you directly into the routes that go back to Best Bofus. But different intersections, there's also kind of like road signs leading you to the different towns and kind of how far away they are. But as you get closer to the city, the road slowly begins to kind of widen out.
Are we no longer wanted by people that want to kill us?
Yeah, what's our GTA wanted level? Like,
Yeah, so that will come up.
That's hanging over our heads.
So yeah, that's still a thing.
I mean, should we take this road then? I mean, can we just...
are you like wanted or anything? Like, I just showed up in a tavern and met these fellas.
Oh yeah, our first outing went very wrong, and we can assume that the Children of Chaos did something to us, and they might have it out for us.
Yeah, they probably want to finish the job.
Yeah. By traveling with us, you are all incredibly unsafe. But I am playing a Happy Piccolo song, so let's...
Yeah, I'm into it. This Piccolo tune is really dissolving the amount of fear I should be having right now, so I'm into it.
Merrily we roll along with a dark cloud of danger over our heads.
Well, while you kind of like start making your way kind of like out of the forest and down the road, you come up by a tree and you can see that there's a young man
Wearing a shiny breastplate with a griffin.
Yeah, that looks familiar.
Hail! You followed the trail of potatoes, I see.
Where'd you go off to?
To, sleep under the stars with a clean conscience. Nothing less, nothing more.
If you cried, it's okay.
You can tell us. I won't tell everyone.
I'm lost. What the fuck is going on right now?
We
We're
are...
walking down the path and Riven was never a part of us the whole time.
But he was...
I got really furious about the fact that the guy lied to us to get us to do his bidding, and so I stormed off after the encounter.
We just caught up with him because he spent the night outside.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I just was like...
It's in the script.
You didn't memorize the
Like,
script?
it's in the script.
Somehow I must have missed that detail. Sorry, guys. I'm really slipping up.
You're going to have to answer to the Burger King after this.
The Burger King will...
On your
consult
knees
with
will
with
see
a fucking
you now.
leash around your neck, and you're gonna have to answer the Burger King, dude.
We won't see Henry in the next episode. The Burger
I'll just
King
be
will
gone.
do what he will.
With the Burger
the
King.
Burger King executed him.
I pray that Henry doesn't actually have the schedule to show up for the next episode just to keep
That would be
the
so
fucking
Everyone
funny.
guessing.
theme.
At this rate, Burger King is either going to sponsor us or send us a cease and desist.
Yeah.
Both. Both!
Please stop
Give me
talking
them
about
both!
Yes. So Riven has caught up, or we've caught up with Riven.
Riven rejoins in the party and he takes the secondary caboose, second to last in kind of like the line as everyone's traveling down the road. And it takes about a half a day, but you slowly get to, again, the outskirts of Besbofus. So it's probably like a little bit, maybe a couple hours afternoon or into the early afternoon. And you kind of pass through the outside slums of the different kind of raccoon folk and raven folk that live on the kind of the outskirts of town and into the city itself.
Yeah, they eat the garbage. I get it.
Mm-hmm. And so, as you pass through the streets of Besbof, as you pass by a lot of kind of like the normal people and different kind of merchants going about their daily business with, you can see like their eyes are just looking down as every once in a while you'll come across kind of like a marauding group of kind of well armored but still very dirty looking half orcs that seem to roam around in teams of about 5 to 6. And you can see they're pretty much the only ones that look straight ahead and are kind of giving people the eye as they slowly try to go about their business and not bring any attention to themselves.
Do they look familiar to us?
Yeah.
Can the four of us that maybe ran into the Children of Chaos recognize these guys? Do they look like Children of Chaos?
So you can't like recognize, like, I guess personally any of their faces, but you remember that the ones that you were captured by were all of half-orc descent, and they had kind of like these kind of like dark blue kind of cloaks. And so with these other kind of like roaming bands of half-orcs, you can see that they're heavily armored, not well bathed, and then they also kind of have these different kind of blue clothing pieces that would kind of distinguish them as Children of Chaos.
Can Daniel totally roll a knowledge history, or intelligence history check to tell me who they are? Because I've never encountered any guys that are half orcs that are bullies or whatever.
Roll that dice.
You're not the boss, Jake.
Roll that dice.
All right,
There we
boss.
go.
What did he say? Ooh, I don't know who they are. I rolled a 2.
What? Ooh. Yep. So
Them's
you
the
can't
orcs.
recall anything about who these guys are.
Bullies.
But there's some organization, because they're all wearing the same color. So that must mean something.
I know gang colors from where I'm from. I'm on the level.
So does their armor match my demon-bitten armor?
No, so their armor is kind of like a mishmash of kind of like different types. And you can see that they have like brooches of kind of like the hammer hitting a skull and kind of like different
Cool.
parts, and like some of their armor is crudely enamored with it, but
Badass.
it looks like their armor is basically just kind of pieced together stuff of whatever they could find and or take from someone.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, some of their armor doesn't even fit correctly, and some of it's kind of like hanging off and in complete disrepair, covered in rust. They're all kind of a mess.
But they're scary. They're a scary mess.
And high on ricochet.
Yeah, I think we should steer clear of these guys.
No need to rustle something up unnecessarily.
Or we could take a back road.
Should I stop playing my piccolo? Does it look like they're responding to that at all?
Yeah, are they digging the piccolo?
Do they care that I'm spreading joy?
Right,
So
Ingus, you're in full
I suppose,
cloud
yeah, you are
makeup
still
right now,
spreading
right?
joy.
Yeah, I am in clown makeup. Before we left, I put on full makeup, just so everyone knows.
I mean, I always assume that. You kidding?
Yeah, it should be assumed.
All right, so as you're playing your piccolo still into the city, you draw a little bit of attention. You see that kind of like the normal townsfolk that are obviously trying to keep their heads down and go about their business without drawing attention to themselves. They kind of look up at you and no one says anything, but it's kind of like what the hell are you doing?
These guys are like, what are they doing?
Okay.
Like, everyone's like, what's going on? I'm like, you guys seeing this shit too?
There's no fun allowed in Bestbofus.
No, there is
Funny.
no other music save for kind of the clinking
Yeah.
of
Don't like joy
blacksmiths.
here, I think.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as like in the westerns when people start boarding up the shops? Right?
That happens.
Yeah, when somebody walks into town.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Do woo woo woo.
Except with a slide whistle.
I was gonna say, I got a harmonica.
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo.
Yeah!
Here comes Ingus with the flute.
Put on a little
3
western
feet
walk.
tall.
Yeah. All right, but with like the roving bands of these children of chaos, you can see that they kind of look at you and sneer, but you can see that they kind of eye up both like the armor that your party's wearing and then also kind of the weapons that a lot of you have on your belts. They kind of eye that up and they kind of warily kind of let you go. But you can see that they're not amused at your catchy marching tune.
I am just going to, if they make eye contact with me, I am going to make the most sincere possible eye contact with a smile on my face back to them, basically saying there's nothing but joy coming from me.
Gonna
Okay.
say all that with my face.
With
Yeah,
the face.
performance check.
And from one group, you get like a really kind of nasty sneer from one that bears his kind of tusks and like a sneer, but he doesn't make a violent move against you as
Yeah.
he kind of like eyes up the party that you're with.
If we weren't so well armed, he probably would have tried something.
That's so if you're weak and smaller group or if you're weak and unarmed, they'll take advantage. But if they're gonna take a stab for it, probably not worth it.
Yeah.
Good thing we're level 2.
I was about to say, or a punch.
Yeah, or a punch or a fist.
So yeah, I mean, I'll play my piccolo until someone tries to stop me.
Okay. And so you guys are able to make it all the way into the docks district. And so as you know that you're getting close to the docks district when kind of like the smell of the lake and also the smell of kind of rotting fish hits your nostrils. And you're making your way kind of down an alley towards where the full mast is. And so you make your way to the opening of the door, and as you're about to like enter, you can hear that obviously business is booming towards kind of like the lunch hour. And I'm guessing, Ingus, you're the first one to kind of open the door.
Sure. I'll stop playing now because playing inside's annoying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they
I
make
guess.
practice rooms for.
I guess that's
and there is no music inside right now, so no bard has taken up residence
Oh.
for the
that sounds like an
Makes some
the lunch or
opportunity.
the noonish drinking hour.
The opportunity of a lifetime. Is there a stage in this tavern at all?
There's no stage, but I mean, you can like pull up a table or stand
yeah.
on a chair.
I was gonna
or
say
just
you can
kinda-
stand on a table for sure. Like that's your own stage, you fucking gnome.
Exactly, yeah, anything.
Yeah, that's true. You could you'd fit on most things.
Is there an empty table we can sidle up to?
So as you enter, there's what looks like kind of like 9 sailors that are kind of like dotted around the place that are, having their ale, and kind of like some of them have different kind of like things for lunch out on the tables, and you can see Grom is kind of serving up drinks back behind the bar, but there's one table that's still open.
Yeah, Daniel leads the charge in taking that table. Is Grom the guy? Grom's the guy.
Yep, so he's the gnome that runs the establishment, and he's serving a couple of the sailors at the bar, and he does see you kind of go through the door, and you guys kind of find one of the empty tables, and he kind of like he drops the mugs that he has, and he goes, "We're closed, everybody get out." And he kind of like he grabs the mugs out of the sailors' hands, which are obviously very, very mad. And he goes, "Get out, we're closed. We're done. Get out, you drunks."
Yeah, Daniel stands up and goes, "Ah, shit, I just got here," and starts to walk out.
I'm gonna grab Daniel on the shoulder and be like, no.
No.
Wait.
But the guy,
Dusty.
the
It's all
guy.
right. It's all right. He's trust me on this one.
All right, bro. And he'll sit back down at the table, I guess.
I'm gonna pat him on his shoulder when he does that.
And so Grom hurriedly and gruffly kind of like shoos all like the sailors out, who all of them are, human and half orc, and some of them are elven, most of them half orc. And he just kind of like shoos them out, and everyone's wondering why the hell they're getting shooed out at like 1:30 in the afternoon, but it's closed, and the proprietor's pushing everyone out. And as like one half orc's getting pushed out, he goes, "Wait, why aren't they getting pushed out?" As Grom keeps just pushing him out, he goes, "We're closed, shut up."
Yeah, Daniel says, "I don't know either."
And so after a little bit of arguing and a lot of shoving into the back of their knees by Grom, he closes the door and then locks some of the lower locks, and you can see that he has like this little kind of like
Lower
stand
locks.
next to the door. He pulls the stand over, climbs up it, and then does like the normal like human locks, and then climbs back down. And you can see then he goes over by the windows, pulls up the stand again, and then like closes the curtains. And he kind of comes up excitedly with kind of like a smile across his like gruff and pockmarked and scarred face. He goes, "Hey, you're back. So how'd it go with Emil?"
Successful mission, some might say. I think we're in a good standing with the organization.
I threw a rock at a dragon.
You did.
Yeah, he did. Good job,
That
Daniel.
did happen. Yeah.
A dragon? No way.
It's the truth, dude.
Oh, god damn it, Emil.
It was a baby dragon, but yes.
It was a green dragon, and that's all that matters for the story.
Yeah, I mean, don't undersell the fact that I rocked a dragon.
Oh no! Believe me, I know. I was there. We did it together.
No, we
you
get
hit
it,
the
yeah.
rock, but yeah.
Dragon was at least this big, Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, "All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so this is all of you. Okay, well, I'm glad you all passed Emil's first mission, so he said that everything went really well, but he left the details out of it, especially the dragon part.
Yeah, there was a little lying going on. But
Yeah, he left that part out to us too.
It happens.
Oh, he didn't even tell you there was a dragon?
No.
Oh, god damn it, Emil. He's a tough guy, but he's been working for us for a long time. But he's got a way about him.
An acquired taste, I would say.
Yeah.
In your
he's-
organization,
one
is
way
it
of putting
normal to lie to people to get up and fight dragons? Or is that like an occasional thing?
He's
I mean, his
different cat.
breakfast tasted great, so like, what can I complain about, right?
The berries and the mushrooms.
Yeah, he pan fried those things to a T, like just like Mammy used to.
He goes, well, Emil knows what he's doing, so if he puts you up against a dragon, he probably knows that you guys were up for it. So that means that he really believes in you, because he wouldn't do that to just anybody. Normally he has initiates catching squirrels and whatnot.
Lame.
Damn.
I could have really aced that, though.
So he really must see something in this group. Yeah.
So
He goes, all right, well, Janandra told me that you guys were on your way back, and so she's waiting for you if if you're all ready. So if you're all still in this, right? So note with this whole like dragon thing that you guys are going to be going up against a lot worse stuff than dragons in the future.
Hell
I understand.
You're going to deal and really see some heavy shit. If you're all down with that, then keep going. But if you're having second thoughts, just leave now.
Yeah, but on a scale of 1 to 10, will you be lying to us more? Because
How can you answer that
I
question?
feel like if we're going to put our lives on the line.
Yeah.
Will you be lying to us? No.
Yeah. Daniel says, on a scale from 1 to 10, I don't care. Let's fucking do it.
I don't care if you lie to me.
On a scale from punch to punch,
Yeah.
I'm going to say the worst is already behind me, so let's do it.
Yeah, same
I
here.
can see some heavy shit.
All right. And Grom looks over at Riven and he goes, look, kid, I'll try not to lie to you, if at all possible.
That's not the most reassuring thing I've ever heard.
If the safety of this entire organization is on the line, I will lie if I absolutely have to. Now, I don't like lying, but Emel's kind of a different cat, and I can't vouch for what he decides and what he thinks is right.
Seems like lying is par for the course for a secret organization. We're all going to have to lie quite a bit.
Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes it's necessary, even to our own members. Now, that doesn't happen a lot, and I'm a pretty honest guy if I do say so myself. But I'm going to be straight up sometimes, and I expect you to do the same when necessary.
The organization comes first.
I suppose that's fair enough.
Okay, and so Graham goes, all right, so if you're all in, follow me. And he leads you back behind the bar and into a door that kind of leads back into what would be the kitchen.
I am going to pull out my piccolo again, and I'm going to play a song that's like excited but suspenseful. A little bit of mystery to it.
Little Ride of the Valkyries type situation.
That's a little too
Triumphant.
that's a little too intense. It's going to be low key but positive but a little mysterious.
Oh,
Serious
so
here
a little
and
like Bruno Mars type situation.
Ingus just
Yes.
busts out Bruno Mars, like somehow knows our own songs, like from our melody.
Bruno
Yeah,
Mars
it
is a character in this.
It's true.
He will be. Just wait till season 2.
Until season.
And Bruno Mars only drinks Jefferson bourbon.
Of course.
Stay
Everybody
thirsty,
knows
my
that.
friends.
There's so many cease and desist letters coming.
Please send them. That means that we have a fucking
We're getting
like
shut down
a
so
fucking
fast.
It's like
image,
strike
dog.
4 now from Bruno Mars's marketing people.
It's been fun, everybody. Yeah, we got...
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm playing a little background, little ambiance music to gear us up for this.
Okay. And so Grum kind of leads you back into the kitchen where there's kind of like a countertop and there's kind of like different like vegetables and like meat hanging around everywhere. And also you can see like behind one of like the counters chopping up vegetables and throwing them into a pot is kind of like what looks like this young kind of red-haired girl that looks about maybe like 12 or 13 that's working in the back. And she kind of looks up as you kind of enter the kitchen and she kind of like quickly and shyly like goes back down to her work chopping as Grum doesn't even look at her and kind of makes a beeline for like the back of the kitchen.
Yeah, Daniel focused on food is like, what are you making?
The girl kind of looks up and without saying anything, she just kind of goes like this to the kind of the different vegetables she has chopped up on the cutting board.
Which are?
Would you like me to explain the ingredients?
Are there any water chestnut?
There's water chestnuts and some
I don't
cilantro, some carrots and cabbage.
Oh, it looks like stew.
Note that, remember like that soup that you had
Garbage
before
No, I
that like,
definitely do.
was
So,
like
fish
chunky,
and I remember.
random stuff thrown together. So yeah, she was the one that made that.
Oh,
so she's
nice.
Kind of figured.
not so she from what you tested of her cooking skill before, she just kind of like throws things together. But she's very young, and I don't think anyone really taught her recipes quite yet.
I'm going to try to make this sound like a compliment, and I'll look to her and be like, I will never forget the taste of that soup.
It was great. Save me a bowl.
And she kind of looks up and like smiles and blushes and kind of like does a little shy bow, but again doesn't say anything or makes no sound.
Who is she related to? Is her parents around? Are her parents around?
Yeah. Are you asking Grum?
Yes, I'm asking Grom. Where are her parents?
Okay. Yeah, so Grum goes, that's Fiona. I found her on the street begging for coppers. And so I brought her in. I got a soft spot for kids.
Gross.
And so,
Can you elaborate on that?
Oh man.
I suppose you were right to be jaded after your sex cult type thing.
I am concerned for children.
roll persuasion. There is a story to this of why it is.
Oh, okay.
And is accusing him of being a pedophile is that like a good disadvantage?
Well, hey, I mean, it's a gnome that works with.
And then I rolled a 13, so that would be a not nat 20.
Woo. Okay, so you're asking about like what's up with the kids thing?
Yeah.
He goes when I was working for this group, we're called the Branded Hands. I used to be one of the agents, and I used to work out in the field and do different jobs. There was one where we were supposed to investigate an orphanage. It was kind of like a children's hospital is kind of what I was working as. And we had reports that these kids were being abducted. These kids were just disappearing from this orphanage. Yes. And so me and 3 others investigated it and come to find out that we broke into a cultist ritual going on where they were sacrificing the children.
It happens.
So we got in right in the middle of one of their rituals, and we were mobbed. I was the only one to get out alive, but the only reason I did is that we were in the basement, and I was surrounded by cultists and this one awful hairy creature that just smelled like rotting trash, and I wasn't thinking straight. I thought I was gonna die, and I took out the support beams with a shatter spell. And so the hospital collapsed in on itself, and I was luckily able to get out of the side of the rubble. The problem is that when the support beams collapsed in, one of the last things I remember hearing was the cries of the children from the floor above. After that, I quit.
Yeah.
But wow. I still support the Branded Hands as much as I can. I'm still a part of it, but I'll never go out in the field again. I can't trust myself after that anymore. And so I owe it to the kids to make up for what I did. I'm a coward.
Wow.
There.
Wow. You know what? I didn't mean to pry so much, but you know, I appreciate
That's a 20.
your truth.
That's a 20. It all comes out. So you were very persuasive.
I feel, bro. I feel.
I want everyone to know that my piccolo music adapted itself to be the underscore for his story. So as he was saying his story, I was like adjusting my music to fit the tone.
And so he kind of gets somber after that. And so he's kind of like, his eyes are kind of down. He goes, do you have any more questions?
Nope.
With that,
nope. No.
We're on the level. She cooks the food. I get it.
I'm going to make sure Grom doesn't hear this, but I'm going to be like to everybody, like, we definitely cannot joke that we killed a baby now. That joke is off limits.
No.
All right.
Grom kind of somberly now kind of like turns and quietly goes again, kind of makes a beeline towards the back. And he goes back towards like a door. And you can see over the top, it just has a sign that says Grom's office. Do not enter, with like a big sign kind of like scrawled in ink.
Oh my god, guys, I broke Grom. I broke him.
I saw it. I was there for it.
Do you feel good about yourself now, Dalana?
That was some heavy shit.
I do want to point out to Grom that he missed the opportunity to call it the Graphis.
Oh my god. Oh my, no.
Step
This
into
man
my
has a
Graphis.
history of, no. The Graphis.
Yeah, and Daniel extends a high five towards the clown and says, "Nice."
It's gotta be a low 5, but I accept.
And he takes it.
Riven goes.
He takes it.
I'll follow Grom toward his office.
And I'll follow Grom to his office, second in the line.
And so you can see on this one that it doesn't have, usually there's like a latch that's a little lower down. So this one, he kind of gets on his toes and he reaches up and he grabs, it's kind of like a golden door handle on it. And he grabs it and you can see that with his right hand. And he kind of holds it there for a bit and he turns it and he opens it up. And you can see that it's basically just like this wall of black. And he goes, follow me. I know, it might look a little scary, don't worry, but this is going to where we need to be. So Janandra's waiting for us. Don't worry, I'll go first.
All right. I feel like I trust you. I'm right behind you, dude.
Whoever's last, please close the door behind you. I'd hate for one of the kids to step in. And he kind of like goes into the inky blackness, and he just kind of disappears into the black.
I'll let Dalana go first, and then if it seems fine, she doesn't like scream, I'll go after her.
Well, I was about to say, if you let Delandra
then you
go
have to
first,
go next.
Yeah, then Daniel goes second. Daniel's the number 2 player.
Only if you call me mom.
Mommy!
Oh my.
This is a very weird dynamic.
Sorry.
We've got an interesting crew here.
After mommy and baby go in, I'll go.
I'll follow the clown.
Okay.
The clown.
The mommy, the baby, the clown, and then
What a fucking children's story that is.
Oh my
The
God.
mommy, the baby, and the clown.
Or it almost sounds like a sitcom, like the mommy, the baby, the clown, the cleric, the hexblade.
yeah, the clown,
The
It's like Eli
hexblade
comes in, like
great
knocks on the
mix.
door. Honey, I'm home. Laugh
I'm
track
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do we close this door? Is it just a normal door? I'm the last one to go through, so
So you can see that it also has like a golden knob on the inside of it as the door kind of like swung open. And so
grab it and slam it closed, I guess.
grab it, okay, and you kind of enter the darkness and close it behind you. And so as you close it, you all find yourself in this kind of like stone circular room, and in the middle of this kind of stone room, you see there's kind of like this large kind of like metal cauldron that just seems to be sitting on the floor.
How big is the cauldron? Like what's the is it like a you can sit inside of it, or just
Soup
like
cauldron?
So the cauldron, I would say it's a pretty big one. So I would say with this one, it's probably like 2.5 feet in diameter. So it's a really large one. You could really stick some stuff in there.
Bunch of babies.
Could probably fit a clown.
at least a clown in there?
hmm
Wrong.
It's a 10 baby capacity.
Oh my
Oh
God.
gosh.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I thought we swore off the baby joke.
Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Then you
Oh.
swore wrongly.
We've officially lost our Burger King sponsorship.
Mm.
We're still on the line. We're still on the line with Jefferson
Dang.
Bourbon. They don't care about babies so much. but-
Bruno Mars, I'm holding out hope.
Maybe Pampers will pick us up.
We might have lost Burger King, but we gained Wendy's. Wendy's, hit me up! Your spicy chickens are great! Get me on the level!
They do have baked potatoes.
They do,
Oh,
yeah.
baked
So
potatoes and
Their chili is pretty good too. I mean,
and chili.
Those Frosties?
Fiona will be
Oh, it
making
was a
chili next time
pig-drawn
we go to the
wagon
kitchen.
of Wendy's baked potatoes.
So it's like a giant stone room. How is it like lit with like torches and shit? And
Yeah, so along the outsides, you can see that there's torches that are lit, and you can see it's kind of this almost like purplish granite, and there's a kind of a domed top. Immediately kind of behind the cauldron, so the cauldron's in like the middle of the circular room, and immediately behind the cauldron, there's this narrow stone platform, and on top of the stone platform, you can see that there's like the golden bust of what looks like an extremely beautiful like elven woman sitting like right behind the cauldron. And as you all enter and Eli closes the door, this very but calm but booming voice kind of fills the room that goes, "Welcome, my chosen. Gather around the cauldron."
I gather.
I take
I
my
gather,
place
for sure.
in a
yeah,
part of the circle around
definitely
the
gonna
cauldron.
follow that command.
Everyone kind of gathers kind of around the cauldron, and you can see that Grom kind of holds back and he stays back by the door. And as you kind of look behind you, you can see that there's still kind of that door, but there seems to be no other exit or entrance to this place.
I'm gonna kind of look around. Do I see anything else of note?
So as you can see from what it looks like, there doesn't seem to be any other doors or entrances or exits to this room. So it's made out of kind of different, looks like stone blocks. That's very, well polished. It's very well taken care of and well decorated, but there's really no way in or out that you can see other than the way that you came in.
would a 3-foot tall person be able to see what's in the cauldron? Tippy toe, maybe?
Stood on your tiptoes, you'd be able to kind of take a look.
I'm gonna tippy toe up and try to peek and see what's inside of the cauldron.
So you peek
Nice.
inside of it, and you can see what it looks kind of like. It's very kind of crystal clear water, and you can see that it's totally still right now.
Water. I can deal with water.
So as you gather around again, you kind of hear this kind of booming female voice, seemingly coming from the golden bust behind the cauldron, but at the same time echoing and kind of reverberating off the walls. And it says, "Greetings, my chosen ones. I am Janandra, leader of the Branded Hands. I am the one who sought you out and sent my agents to find you. I'm glad that all of you have accepted my call. Over the past several days, you've proven yourselves as trustworthy, dedicated, and capable. And now that you are here before me, I give you a final choice to join our fight against injustice. Or you may return to your normal lives. Leave now and return to your old life, or stay and receive the final test."
Yeah, Daniel stays.
I will stay.
I'm in.
I've come this far, I'm gonna see it through.
Yeah, Daniel raise a high five to all those that stays.
Okay. So everybody stays.
You have to come down for me, but I'll do it.
I do. Don't worry, I'm over the top while you're down from under.
Up
I
high,
get it.
down low.
Yep, I get it.
I'm always down low.
Okay. And so it gives you some time and nobody moves. And then you hear the voice come back and it says, "Anslian, step forward. Put your hand into the cauldron and remember what brought you here." And as you near the cauldron, you see that the cauldron itself actually shrinks down to a level that you would be able to.
Nice.
Yes. So it goes down to user height.
My character is very touched by the accommodation. That doesn't always happen. So thank you. That's great.
That's very nice, yeah.
Is it anciently engraven?
It does not seem to be anciently engraved with anything. It really seems like just a really old cast iron cauldron.
I think Engraven is the name of Riven's brother. Engraven?
That
That will be cut. That will be cut out. It wasn't good enough.
No, it's
That would be
in.
cut out.
It's in.
Yes, so whatever apprehension I had has started to melt away a little bit because the cauldron shrunk down to my size. He very much appreciates that. So he'll step up to the cauldron, and she said, "Put your hand in?" Is that what she said?
Yep. Put your hand into the cauldron and remember what brought you here.
Can we take a second to appreciate that Ingus is going to join a secret society out of sheer appreciation for an ADA accessible boiling cauldron?
Hell. Yeah.
That's a big thing.
It is.
It's
Very, very
progressive.
considerate secret organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
It's very accessible.
Sometimes you just work for the benefits. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I get it. You know what I mean?
We're all about equity here.
Yeah.
The cauldron of accessibility.
also the
Mhm,
the
mhm.
player playing Angus is Midwestern, and he has a hard time saying no. So
You want to join the
Too-
secret society?
too polite to say no.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
why
very
not?
true. That's very true.
So the moment he does have to reach into the cauldron, he is more apprehensive, especially because he's thinking of what brought him here, and what brought him here was him feeling very betrayed by his own family. He was a drug addict. He had a completely different life before he was a drug addict. He got addicted to a drug called Ricochet, aka Ricky's.
Those Rickies will get you.
He was addicted for several years, and he became an embarrassment to his noble family. And they eventually decided that they essentially didn't want him anymore. The publicity was too much to deal with, so someone in his family ordered to have him killed, and he was put in a barrel of acid and left to die.
Whoa.
He did manage to survive, but he has that deep resentment going back, and he feels betrayed by his family. He's a completely different person now, but he harbors that resentment for his family, and getting some sort of retribution, whether it's emotional or physical or what, against his family is kind of what's driving him here. So he's thinking about all that, and thinking about like the claustrophobicness of the barrel and the cauldron and the water and the acid makes him extremely apprehensive, but in his heart he feels like this is his moment to reinvent himself and pursue his new life, so he plunges his hand into the cauldron.
So as you kind of think about what brought you here and plunge your hand into the cauldron, as soon as your hand enters it, you can see that the water begins to boil around your hand,
God
and then
damn.
the boiling slowly spreads out.
He's less okay with that.
It doesn't hurt, so it feels
Okay.
hot, but it's not painful.
It's like a hot tub.
Yeah, so like a hot tub yeah, with no jets. once you kind of like, you start thinking about your life and like what brought you here, and your hand is inside, and the cauldron is now bubbling and kind of and fuming with the thoughts of your life before this. And Janandra's voice echoes across the walls again, and it says, "There's great anger inside you, Anslan. The fiery rage that grows within you threatens to consume both you and those that would trust in you. Will you have the strength to direct your wrath only towards those who are deserving of it?" So if yes, you can say, I will.
I will. I will.
And then the booming voice says, "Grab the stone at the bottom of the cauldron and grasp it tightly."
Did we all hear that, or did
Yes.
just he hear?
So I was the guinea pig, but now everyone knows.
Damn right.
Yep, so everybody knows how it goes. So then you grasp it, you can feel that there's like this stone at the bottom, and as you grab onto the stone, you feel that it's extremely cold. So the water around is extremely hot, but the stone is extremely cold, and you grab onto it, and you can feel this stingingly cold sensation, almost to the point of it feeling stingingly hot, as it kind of like seems to burn something into your palm. Did you put in your left or your right hand?
I put in my left hand.
Okay, you might want to take note of that for future reference.
Oh, right.
So your left hand is in there and you grasp it, and you feel this burning and stinging sensation into your palm. And eventually, after a while, the sensation fades. And the stone again just feels like a regular stone, and then slowly, starting from where your arm is kind of reached in, the boiling of the water slowly stops, and it comes to a serene stillness. And then you hear the booming voice of Janandra again that says, "Congratulations, Ansley and Mugwood. You have been accepted."
He's gonna shed a tear, but wipe it away really quick before it affects his makeup.
As you should.
And he's gonna be really gentle about dabbing it away,
So you have been accepted, Ansley, and the water has stopped boiling. And so you can now step away from the cauldron.
I will pull my hand out and step back.
All right. And then the booming voice comes back. It says, "Dalana, please step forward.
I step forward.
Put your hand into the cauldron and remember what brought you here."
I put my hand in the cauldron, and as I do, I am remembering why I'm here, and I also have sort of memories of my childhood in Nasmia and how my parents sent me over on this internship into the city of Garam Torum. And I'm remembering my years with the Convocation of Equity and my cousin Ferris, who is unfortunately still there. And I'm realizing, how more than ever I really need this organization and this opportunity.
And so as you kind of think about, your life before this and what led up to this moment, again, the water around your arm starts to kind of boil and gets to a rolling boil. And then the voice of Janandra comes back, and it goes, "You were betrayed by those who you trusted in the most. But the pain of that betrayal has revealed a mighty soul within you. But even the mighty are most vulnerable when they are alone. I offer you guidance, new allies, and a cause that is just. Will you trust in both me and those beside you?"
I will.
Grab the stone.
I grab the stone.
And you grab the stone down at the bottom, and again, the water is very hot, but the stone is very cold, but so cold that it feels hot. And you can feel like there's a kind of a stinging sensation into your palm for a few seconds, and then it slowly dies down, and the boiling of the water stops. And again, you hear the voice echoing off the walls, and it says, "Congratulations, Dalana Greydark. You have been accepted."
Done and done. Pretty painless, guys.
I can't wait.
Daniel, step forward.
Oh shit, I could have waited. I walk forward.
You won't need to.
Put your hand in the cauldron and remember what brought you here.
Daniel puts his hand in and remembers, this water's so hot. Sensei san way. And he remembers his old sensei and every trial and tribulation that led up to his untimely demise. He remembers every training montage. He remembers every fence post painted. He remembers every tile circularly cleansed. Daniel remembers, and he goes, "Sensei! You taught me so much! I'll never have a sensei like you!" And his hand is in the water.
Do you
Okay.
know offhand how your sensei got murdered?
Killed by corporate assassin. Next question.
Next question.
So your hands in the water and you're thinking about all the waxing on and off. And
Yeah.
the water begins to boil as you're kind of thinking about things. Your memories become more and more vivid. And then Janandra's voice comes booming off the walls again. And it says, as your late master may have told you, the body is the temple of the spirit within. Within
He
you,
did.
Daniel, the soul of a great warrior resides in the body of a growing young man. Build up your temple, Daniel, to match the magnificence of what lies inside.
You're so right.
Will you build yourself to become a beacon of hope and not of fear?
Of course.
Grab the stone.
And he does. He fucking
Okay.
grabs that shit.
All right, and you grab that stone.
Sensei
and you get-
Sunway! And he grabs that shit.
All right, and again, it gets super cold, and you can feel it kind of burning into your palm. And then after a few seconds of discomfort, it slowly recedes, and the boiling around your arm slowly stops.
Ow!
And so you can take your hand out now.
And he drops the imaginary stone back in the water. And he goes, whoa, how righteous.
Congratulations, Daniel Sanwei, you have been accepted.
My hand hurts.
That's perfectly normal. There may be some discomfort after being accepted into the branded hands.
Thanks for the warning.
Dektrin, step forward
I step forward up to the cauldron.
and put your hand into the cauldron and remember what brought you here.
I submerge my right hand into the cauldron and think about the Scourge Purgers, the organization I thought was going to be everything, the journeys I had, and the sense of disillusionment I felt with what I believed the organization was and what it actually was, and the fact that I parted ways with the organization under not so good terms, and my regret for doing the things I did, but knowing that I had to do them at the same time. A mix of regret and determination, I guess you'd say.
And as the memories come into your mind, again, the water slowly comes to a rolling boil, and then the booming voice off the walls calls out again, and it says, great storm clouds gather on the horizon. The sky darkens, and hair stands on end as static builds, and the wind brings in with it the smell of ozone before the lightning strike. You feel it within you, Dektrin. You are the coming storm. Bring rain to the innocent, and electrify the wicked from the heavens. Will you be the storm that the people pray for?
I shall.
Grab the stone.
I grab the stone
And so, again, the stone feels very cold, and it gets to the point of kind of like a burning coldness as it etches some sort of design into your palm, but after a few seconds of discomfort, it slowly fades down, and the boiling slowly comes back down. And now the water is again still. Congratulations, Dektrin Goran. You have been accepted.
I nod and then step back.
I should have been playing piccolo this whole time.
Toot!
There's a
Oh, well.
time and a place.
If Janandra wanted music, she would have had music. It's not my place.
Riven, step forward.
And I will step forward.
Nice.
Put your hand into the cauldron and remember what brought you here.
I'm going to stick my left hand in because I've seen all the boiling water everyone else has had to deal with. I didn't really want that on my right hand. So I'm going to put my left hand.
Strategic.
So I'll roll up my sleeve and I'll stick my left hand deep into the cauldron.
And then remember what brought you to this point.
All right, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to think of all of the nobles who would insist on the others that follow the rules while they felt that no laws applied to them, and how they would steal from their employees and their rivals as much as they could, but they would chop off an employee's hand for stealing so much as a nugget of precious gems. And my faces kind of get flush and red and burn with anger.
And so as you kind of remember what brought you here, the water begins to come up to a rolling boil, and the voice comes from the walls again. And it goes, Riven, you were born into a life of privilege, but also a life of restraint, as well as a life where you were able to see the corruption that happens behind the scenes. Freedom has its benefits, but also comes with a heavy burden of responsibility. Now that you have your freedom from your born position, and you are now free from the confines of social expectations, you have an important choice to make. Will you use your freedom to protect the freedom of others?
Absolutely.
Grab the stone.
I'll grab it.
And again, that gets very, very cold, and you can kind of feel the imprint of something being etched into your palm, and after a few seconds of discomfort, it slowly fades, and the water slowly stops boiling. Congratulations, Riven Larinus. You have been accepted.
I'll take my glowing hand and step back into the line.
And then Ilrith, step forward.
Eli steps up to the cauldron.
Put your hand into the cauldron and remember what brought you here.
Eli pulls his arm out of his sleeve of the cloak so it doesn't get wet. And as he reaches in, he says, her name was Estel. And he thinks about the love of his life being stolen away by this nobleman who thought he had the privilege to do whatever he wanted. And then out loud he says, I killed him and I avenged you, but was it worth it? Yeah, it was totally worth it.
Nice.
He needed to die.
Doom.
He puts his hand on his sword. It's like, well, at least now I have Idril. That was worth it too, I think. And he sticks his hand in the rest of the way.
And so as like your memories go through and your thoughts are running through your mind as your hand is in there again, the water comes to a boil, and then Janandra's voice again echoes off the walls. To kill a man, run a blade into his heart. To kill a man's soul, rip the love out of his heart. A broken man, a broken sword, in a broken world. But as one is mended and reforged, the others can heal beside it. Revenge did not heal your heart, but the love of others may yet mend the wound. Will you fight for the love of the defenseless?
I will.
Grab the stone.
Eli grabs a stone with his right hand.
And again, it gets super, super cold, and you can feel that cold etching going into your palm. After a few seconds of discomfort, it slowly fades, and the water, again, becomes still. And again, the voice comes from the walls. Elrith, Novaris, you have been accepted. And so then you step back, and everyone has now been accepted, and kind of the burning in your hand slowly begins to fade.
Ingus is very taken by this moment, and he's full on bawling now, watching everybody do their thing. Very
Are you
emotional.
dabbing it off so that it's not
Yeah, he's trying
affecting the make?
trying his best not to make a thing.
Just crying and playing the piccolo.
He opted not to play the piccolo. He didn't want to impose his music on this moment.
Yeah. And so, again, Janandra's voice echoes kind of from the golden bust and echoes off the walls. And it says, with this brand, you now gain the ability to recognize others in our order. You may also communicate telepathically with other branded hands by joining hands with them. In addition, certain doors and passages can only be opened by those who have this magical brand. If you have any questions, you may ask them now. Otherwise, Grom will instruct you on what further actions are necessary.
Cool.
I'm so honored. So honored.
Now that we're a part of the organization, what's our first step?
Yeah.
Assignments at the initiate level are given to Grom. Upon your advancement within the organization, you will talk to other agents that are higher up in the order. If you rise to enough power, I may instruct you directly.
I see.
Whoa.
Thank you for the explanation.
I have a question for Grom, though.
Okay, well, they're gonna. So Grom's gonna. So Grom kind of goes. He goes, all right. Well, congratulations, guys. Here, let's head back to the inn.
Thank you, Grom, for helping us and getting us this far. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's good to have new recruits.
So, Grom, what happened the other night? You know, to the four of us, that things kind of went sideways.
Let's go back to the inn. And you hear kind of like a voice behind you as Janandra answers this one. So, kind of like the booming voice goes off. And what she says that it's not by happenstance that I found all of you. So to find you, I sent a divine call throughout the universe to direct me to those that are worthy of our cause. You were the answer to that call. But when a great shout goes out across the cosmos, it sends echoes across all the planes that can be heard by the few with ears to hear it. I believe that my greatest enemy heard my call for you. It is likely that he knows you as well as I know you. It's not by mercy, but miscalculation that you are all still alive. I believe that the enemy sees your potential as I do, and believes that you may yet fall to his desires. To fight corruption, or succumb to its allure, will be a choice that you will all have to make. And when it comes, that choice won't be easy. But that is what happened to, at least I believe it was the four of you.
So we are in, mega danger?
Potentially, yes. But the enemy doesn't want to destroy you as much as seek out your weaknesses, because he thinks that you may yet be allies for him.
So we're going to be living here at this tavern for a little while?
So you can for the time being. Well, Grom says, he goes, okay, let's go back to the inn. And so he kind of like elbows you, Ingus, and he goes, okay, so with these golden handles, put the hand that you grabbed the stone with on the handle and turn it and think about the inn.
I will reach out and I will put my hand on the handle and I will think about going to the tavern.
And he goes, okay, are you thinking about the tavern?
Not the soup, but the tavern, yes.
Okay, just the tavern itself. Yep, just think of the inn, think of what it looks like, and turn the handle, open the door.
Click. Is that what a doorknob makes the noise?
Yep, so it makes a little click and you open it up, and this time instead of just kind of like pure black, you can actually see into the kitchen. And he goes, there's different doors and these handles go to different places, but you gotta think about which one you want to go to. And so you guys will come into contact with different spots and kind of different locations that have handles like these. So it allows us to kind of get around. It comes in handy, no pun intended. But come on, let's go. And he like leads everybody back into the kitchen. And everybody walks into the kitchen, and Grom kind of like waits for everybody to file back in, and he closes the door behind you. And as you guys get into the kitchen, he goes and he stops. He goes, well, congratulations into the branded hands. And you hear this huge kind of like slamming at the very front door coming from outside. From what looks like the front door of the inn itself. And you hear like kind of the slam, crash. And you hear kind of this gruff voice coming from the main room go, Grom, it's the middle of the day. I know you're not closed. And Grom kind of like looks around. He goes, what the hell's going on? And so he scrambles out into the main room. As you kind of look from the kitchen into kind of the main dining room, there's these 6, looks like half-orc, children of chaos, so they kind of have like the ruffled kind of like scraps of like blue cloth pieced between like really kind of like rusted kind of pieced together pieces of armor that they're wearing, and each one of them has a different two-handed weapon. And one of them, the most heavily armored of them, that has this huge sword on his back, comes forward and he goes, Grom, it's time to pay your taxes. Grom looks at him and he goes, Brack, what are you talking about? I paid my taxes 2 weeks ago. I did it to you in person. You were just in here and you broke my door. Brack looks at him and he goes, yeah, well, I spent all the taxes you gave me last time, so I'm gonna need you to pay it over again. And Grom was just fuming, and he kind of looks back behind you at those of you that are still in the kitchen, and he kind of does the kind of motioning for you just to come out of the kitchen.
I walk out. What seems to be the problem here, gentlemen? Come to Grom's side, of course, as I say that.
I'm going to run out and scramble on top of a table to be as intimidating as possible.
Is there like only the one door out, or
there's the door out, there's the door to the kitchen, and then off on one of the side walls there's stairs going up to the rooms upstairs.
All right, so there's no sneak in here.
So there's no like other exit out, other than there's a couple like windows I guess you could dive out of on the sides. if push comes to shove, yeah.
How many half-orcs did you say there were?
There's 6 of them, and they all have kind of like these different, almost pretty much oversized weapons in their hands, and they're kind of like smugly looking at all of you, but you can see that their faces kind of droop a little bit as more and more people seem to be filing out of the back of the kitchen. You can see the heavily armored half-orc kind of looks at Grom, and he looks at everyone else, and he goes, I thought you were closed.
I'm going to say, Grom pays his taxes to me now.
To you? Oh. And who are you?
I'm the tax collector, and you will pay me your taxes now.
Oh, this better be good.
No, it seems like we've come to a misunderstanding.
Have we?
There can only be one tax collector in the Docks District.
There can be only one.
That's me, boy.
Have at you!
Are you, with the have at you,
I'm gonna knock an arrow.
Alright, so you pull out the bow, knock an arrow, and as soon as you pull out the bow and bring the arrow back, Brack goes, alright boys, this is about to get interesting. Initiative.
Initiative.
God damn it.
Oh, I did bad. I rolled a 5.
I got a 3 total.
My character is skilled in persuasion, and my approach is to go,
just go for it.
I want all of your monies. I'm going to fight you now.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Damn you, Jefferson.
Alright, so let's go down the line. Dalana, what do you have?
8.
Okay. Daniel?
13.
Dek?
3.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, kind of.
Okay, and then Ingus, you got...
I have a 7.
Okay. Riven
3 plus 7 is 10.
and Eli.
10.
Ooh. Who has the higher dex between you and Riven?
I have a 15.
Same.
Okay, who wants to go first between you two?
I'm going to defer because he was the one talking
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
I knocked the
Okay.
arrow.
I mean, that is definition of initiative is taking the first action.
So, it sounds like Brack, or the guy with the greatsword, pulls the greatsword off of his back and charges towards Riven.
This ends poorly for me.
How big is this room again? Sorry.
So it's fairly large. So it's like 90, probably like 90 feet wide totally by about maybe like
90 feet?
60.
That's huge.
it's pretty big. You can fit a lot of
Not a
stuff in there. But there's tables on the sides and then also kind of tables around in the middle. So in his rage, Brack charges towards Riven, but on his way he catches his foot on the side of one of the chairs under one of the tables, trips, and drops his greatsword that goes skittering towards Riven and lands at Riven's feet.
The fool.
And so Brack is now prone, kind of next to a table with his greatsword very far away from him. And that goes down to Daniel.
Okay.
Brack is probably about 20 feet away from you. The other ones are probably about, I would say, within 30 feet. So you would be able to move and attack. And there are kind of like tables and chairs kind of scattered in the way with tankards and like various food items still on them from lunch
Okay.
before.
If there are any tables that have like a bread type substance on
Mm-hmm.
that I can slide across the table, nab the bread, and then proceed to land a punch or a foot punch on the opponent.
Okay, so you're gonna grab bread
Mhm.
and attack. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought for sure you were going to sit there and eat while I
Bread
died.
face.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Last snack.
on the way, you are able to grab kind of like a half loaf of bread.
Cool.
On your way over to the half orc who's like now trying to like get up as fast as he can. Would you like to punch him or do the foot punch?
I feel like a foot punch is a bit more realistic in the sense if I'm sliding across and if I land on a foot, then I'm gonna try and extend with the other foot to try and punch him with that foot.
Okay, so is that kind of like a kick?
A foot punch is all that Daniel knows. So I'm gonna give it a go. Yeah. That's a 13.
Now, when they're prone, do you
and
get
if he's
advantage
prone,
or-
you have advantage.
Oh, ooh, it's worse. A 13.
Oh, okay. So this guy's got like what looks like kind of like half plate armor of different kind of like
Mhm.
pieces of metal kind of pieced together. And as you punch, it seems like the armor just kind of deflects off your foot punch.
Okay,
Yep. So your toe is a little bit sore.
that's all right. I have a bonus foot punch. Yeah. Ooh, that's a 2. Do I still
With
get
advantage.
with
yes.
advantage?
On,
Okay,
so,
great.
Yep, so on all attacks.
Flailing
Yeah.
his
Melee attacks.
feet in the
Oh,
air.
that's a natural 20 for the second.
Okay, that found his temple.
That foot punch
Right.
will hit.
Yeah.
to the back
Foot
of the
punch.
Martial arts
Side
is a
of the head.
1d4. Yeah. 4 points of damage.
Okay, did you roll the dice twice?
The
For the-
damage dice,
For the critical? Yep, so you double the dice.
then it is a 3 plus 3, so a 6.
Okay.
They were graceful kicks, but they weren't very hard.
Exactly. I mean, I grabbed the bread. It distracted my kicks.
You're able to kick him in the side of the head, and kind of like the leather skull cap that he's wearing goes flying off to the side.
Sick.
Then it goes to Riven.
All right, I'm going to fire my short bow at the man. So 14 plus 6 is 20 to hit.
Absolutely.
3 damage plus a sneak attack because Daniel is there. Another 3 damage plus 2 for dex is 8.
8 total?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you shoot him as he's on the ground, and it sinks right in between his collarbone and his shoulder and just
Ooh.
buries itself halfway into his chest.
Gross.
And he lets out a groan. Do you want to move at all, Riven? Reposition?
No, I'm good where I'm at.
Okay, going down to Eli.
I'm going to move up to him and swing at him, I guess.
Okay, this poor guy is just getting mauled.
This is the main
Oh,
guy?
This is the
before I
leader.
end my
You
turn,
completely
I wanted to
whiffed.
take a step forward
Oh,
so that
man.
his greatsword is on the other side of me.
Okay, so you can step over his greatsword because it's skittered about 10 feet forward.
Yeah, I imagine there's a space as I move up between these two guys.
Yes, because Riven shot him, and then Daniel went kind of beside him and kicked him in the head.
Foot punched him.
Yeah, the foot.
Foot punch.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, I said
Fighting
kick. I misspoke. Use the correct martial arts term for it.
Are you proficient in knee punches and elbow punches? too?
Knee
I'm just
punches.
curious.
I'm proficient in any punch.
All punches.
Any
How about the
punch.
butt punch?
Any.
If it's a punch,
Okay.
I don't know how much.
punch.
If you call it a punch,
How
I
much-
can do
Fruit
it.
punch?
How much damage would that do?
Throw
The
punch.
cult Christmas party.
1d4. As far as the game
That's
tells us, it's
confusing.
1d4.
I'm going to hit them
Is
with
the
my
throat
axe.
punch using his throat?
Yes.
Oh god. I rolled a 20.
Oh my!
Nice.
This guy is getting mauled. Okay,
Yeah, he brought up taxes.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
so
Yeah, no taxation here.
so you're using, I'm guessing, like the sword
Yes.
too. Okay, so are you going to slash or just like jam down into his head?
Oh, I'm just straight crucifix down into his.
Okay, roll for damage. So
Oh, come on. A 2 and a 3. Okay, well, total is 9 damage. What do you know?
okay, and so you stab down and it goes right through the side of his head and just pins his head up against the ground. And as you pull back up, you can see his head kind of like sticks to the end of the sword, and you have to pull it out. And as you pull it out, it just slaps down on the floor. He is out.
Ooh.
So he is not getting back up.
Nice.
No, you're
Any
fucking
chance I can
place
try and
trash.
roll an intimidation check on the other guys?
That's technically an action,
Oh, it is? Okay.
but the act itself was pretty intimidating as far as actions go. Having your
Killed
boss
their
get
boss.
foot punched in the
What are they
face,
gonna tell his boss?
shot.
You know?
Yeah.
Ah,
An active
he
intimidation.
died. I don't
taxes.
know.
We all just ignored the rest of them and just targeted the boss. We're like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, we're fine.
So-
He throwing one after him? Well,
Yeah. So actually, Eli, roll and intimidate. Since it was a critical,
Yeah.
and given the situation, just roll to see how that comes off to the rest of them as the rest of his crew is watching. Because really, that's
Badass.
seeing your boss just get mobbed and stabbed through the head. That's gonna have an effect.
I don't know if I believe it. Another 20.
Are you serious? What are you?
Yeah.
No
I'm just
way.
using the electronic roll.
Okay, no, it happens.
This is karma for all the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From several months ago.
Oh, all right. And the way that you just killed their captain, the other 5 of them look at all of you, look at their dead captain, and you can see that like 2 of them start backing up, and the other ones are like looking back at the ones that are their morale is breaking. And as the other ones kind of like fall back and start stepping back cautiously, the other ones that are a little bit braver, their morale kind of starts to break, seeing their allies not standing up to it. And so they start to back up as well. And one of them that's like carrying this extremely huge hammer, he goes, all right, hold up. Don't worry about the taxes. Brack already got your taxes, Grom. We know it was his idea.
And I'm gonna go, gentlemen, I think we will be worrying about the
We
taxes.
can forget this whole thing happened.
I mean, whatever.
And I'm gonna roll a persuasion check and say, and if you pay your taxes, you can head home right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Are you still like working as the tax guy?
Doing the tax
I
collector.
am, yeah. So that's
Still
18
in character.
total.
In character.
It-
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, roll.
It was 13 plus 5 is 18.
And one of them kind of like pipes up and he goes, "You're not the tax collector, we are. But Brack already got the taxes, and you know what? Next month, don't worry about it, Grom. We're okay. Brack was wrong. He got really drunk and spent it all. This was all his idea."
We're still in combat order probably, or?
So you guys can freely talk at this point if you want to.
I kind of want to cast Mage Hand and lock the door behind them so they can't leave.
I mean,
Thus I'm
it's up
going
to you,
to.
but it looks like they don't want any part of this.
Is the door the only way out?
It's the only way out, and then windows.
Is the door actually attached though?
The door that broke through the locks, and so it is open, but it's still on the hinges.
I have a decent intimidate check. I guess we could just let them go too, but
but then we wouldn't get our taxes.
right. I think we need money.
You guys are tax collectors.
We're collecting their taxes.
I'm gonna cast a spell, Dissonant Whispers, and I'm going to target
right.
the one that stepped up and tried to like defend or whatever.
Okay, the one with the hammer.
Yeah, Hammerman.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers, but I want the whispers to be like all the deep insecurities that a bully is constantly trying to hide. So I want the whispers to be like, the only reason you have friends is because they're scared of you. You know, your mother never really loved you. Your dad left because you suck.
Ooh.
Like, I want all the whispers to be like,
Going for the personal attacks.
I wish they would have just said, pay
Okay.
your
That's
taxes.
how to get them.
so it's a wisdom saving throw on their part.
Yeah. And then what's your save DC?
13.
Okay. And so with the dissonant whisper, so you actually whisper stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing, right? So yeah, there's a verbal thing. And you can see like he sees that you start saying something, but he can't. It's hard for him to hear, so he leans forward. He goes, "What? What? No, no, no!" And you can see, he just starts like shaking, and you can see that there's like blood that starts running down the side of his ears. So roll for damage, and I think he has to book.
He has to go his full run distance away. 13.
Damage?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's
Some
3d6.
very
Wow.
mean whispers.
Some hateful words.
And so blood starts like streaming down the sides of his ears as he goes, "No, it's not true. I'm sorry." And he just like starts running, and he's like limping, and there's like blood streaking across, dripping on the floor as he just kind of like stumbles out the door. And the other guys are just looking at each other and then looking at you like, "What the hell did you just do?"
And I want to like just have the most like frightening eyes and facade and just like be like, empty your pockets and you'll live.
Intimidate.
I will intimidate. I have a +4. Is that 18 + 4, so 22. Empty your pockets and you can live.
Says the halfling to the half-orc warriors.
Something's not right with this.
Given the current situation, they agree, and you can see they drop their weapons, they go into their pockets, and they just pull them inside out, and just coins go flying all over the floor.
Nice.
And one guy reaches back behind like his belt, and you can see he's got this little like chest that you can tell is full of coins, and he shows it to you, and then he slowly puts it on the table,
Set it down.
and he goes like this. And one of the guys looks over at Grom, and he goes, "Grom, you and your friends let us go, and nobody has to know about this. Don't worry about the taxes." Grom looks at him and kind of looks at the rest of you, and he goes, "All right, but don't ever come back here or anywhere near here, and stay out of the docks."
I live here now.
Pipes up, and Ingus pipes up, and the guy goes, "Okay." He goes, "Okay, we're just gonna leave. That's all the money we have. We're just gonna go." And they just slowly start like backing out of the broken open door. Does anyone want to take any final actions as they're retreating?
I'm so glad I demanded their money from them instead of trying to talk my way out of this.
I'm just gonna put my mace over my shoulder and just go like, "Damn, I didn't do anything."
That
Laugh and kind of shake my head.
Me either.
Yeah. I just saw a like halfling just like totally mind fuck someone and take their money.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It was super impressive, guys. Well
Yeah.
done.
That was kind
Cheers
of
to
evil,
us.
but
Jefferson.
they had it coming.
Cheers as you.
They had it
That's-
coming.
Well, I'm gonna go over and take all that money and put it on a table so we can split it up.
Yeah, what kind of armor did they... Oh, they didn't take their armor off there.
Well, you have the dead guy's armor.
Yeah, so the guy that's dead, I mean, there is a great sword, and then also he had half plate armor,
Ooh.
which has it's an armor class of 15, but the dex is I think, fairly low on it.
There's no damn way that would fit on my body. And I don't know that bards can have anything more than like leather armor, can they?
Not to start, but I think you can take feats that give you different
yeah.
armor proficiencies. But as you kind of like scoop up the assorted coins that are on the ground, and then also look at the little kind of like lockbox they had that they were collecting taxes in, between everything, there's actually a lot of coins that these guys had on them.
Nice.
Between all of it, there's 70 gold pieces. There's 1,520 silver pieces, a lot of which is in that little lockbox and in a couple kind of coin purses that the guys had on them. And there's 970 copper pieces.
Damn.
I'm gonna go over and kind of poke at the body. And I'm gonna say, Dek, this is pretty nice armor. What do you think?
Well, it does look pretty good. How dented is it? I mean, I assume it's beaten up and,
He was murdered in the head, right? So
Yeah, so
Yep.
the armor is
clean,
good.
Yeah.
clean strike to the head.
So-
It's got some blood on it to clean up.
But, yeah, so
Prestidigitation.
it is pretty... Oh god, that would kind of fix it. So, honestly, like, the armor is... It's good, it's functional, but it's extremely rusty, and you can see that it's just kind of like plates that are pieced together in a functional manner, but it just looks like hell. So, function over style in this case.
Is full plate, half plate heavy armor, though? Or
I believe it's in 5th. I think it's medium. It's the top level of medium.
Yeah, half plate is what I'm looking for in the end, but I have a thing for fancy looking armors.
while they were looking at the armor, I was like literally sitting on the table with all the gold pieces, sorting them into piles. And everyone gets 253 silver pieces, 161 copper pieces, and 11 gold pieces.
nice.
There's some like remainder stuff that I didn't figure out. But
That'll be for the pizza party.
Wait a second, Grom, how much did you pay these guys in taxes?
You go and he looks at you, he's like, it changes every time they come. They don't even know what they collect in taxes. I think last time I gave them like 25 gold for here, but they know I usually get a lot of business, so they ask for more here. But they don't keep track of when they come, and some of those guys don't even technically know what taxes are or what they're for. It's basically protection money for them not to burn the place down.
well, now that I live here, Grom, you'll never pay taxes again.
We just turned this place into a libertarian utopia.
Should we give some gold to Grom?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, in due time.
Yeah, we just did him a favor.
Yeah, and he goes, you guys can keep that.
We did give him like 2 months rent free. Like,
Yeah, so you guys just killed off the tax collectors for him, so...
So do we need to like drag the body down to the harbor and throw it in the water?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Let's probably take the armor off first and whatever else is heavy, because I don't feel like
Strip
carrying this
them
much.
naked, throw
Well-
them in the harbor.
I'll ask Grom, does this secret organization have a body incineration like system? Like, how do you guys dispose of bodies?
Well, it kind of depends on where you are. Usually people don't die right here in my restaurant.
Is Fiona still making soup?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Alan!
no.
Alan!
I am
And you see
against
the
that.
No, we have to
The-
eat that, man.
little
No.
kid or
No.
the halfling that has the makeup on to look very, very young comes running down. He goes, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "All right, Alan, I need you to mop up this blood. We'll take care of the body, but you're gonna need to get some rags out of the back." And the kid persona breaks for a little bit, and you can see Alan goes, "Ugh," and he goes back into the kitchen and grabs out some rags. And Grom kind of looks at the rest of you and he goes, "You guys have any good ideas for what to do with a large, hairy, stinky body? We could just throw him into the lake. Dead bodies wash up all the time. No one really asks too many questions."
And we go, do you want to hang him outside from the window as a warning to others?
That might not be a good idea.
No, we want attention.
Do the half-orcs ever come in here and order food?
Sometimes, I mean, a lot of my customers are half-orc sailors.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the half-orcs
Right.
are bad. It's just the children of chaos that are kind of pricks about things. But sometimes they come in here.
I propose that you have a special soup just for the half-orcs, if you catch my drift, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
I cannot even.
Are you insinuating I cut him up and put him in the soup? You are the sickest clown I've ever met.
I'm gonna pull out my piccolo and play a very happy song.
clown.
And I'm gonna dance on the table where the money is.
Holy shit, Havgar really broke the mold when he made you.
I've been through some shit.
Yeah. And he goes, all right, tonight I'll call up some other agents and we'll haul out the body. We'll just dump it in the lake. No one will really care.
Cool.
And then hopefully, I'm guessing with how you guys went about scaring them off, they probably won't be back because they know that we have another force.
Yeah.
So, things with the Children of Chaos is that they look big and tough, but deep down they're cowards. As soon as they know that you're going to fight back and not just give them what they want from threats, they usually cave. So, I don't think they'll be back, but we'll wait for... He kind of like looks through one of the windows. He goes, we'll wait for the sun to go down and we'll take care of this.
I'm gonna look at the dead body, sit in the middle of the room, and be a little bit disgusted and go, maybe we should just take care of it now.
Let's drink. Let's have some drinks.
And, well, Grom quickly goes up to the door and closes the door that is actually still open. And he kind of like reaches for the locks, but they're all broken open, so he can't really lock the door, but he just goes, all right, just hopefully no one else comes in. And he goes over and like by the side, there's a little closed sign, and he hangs it up on the outside of the door and closes the door. And he goes, I'm just gonna cross my fingers that no one comes in here. But yeah, welcome to the Branded Hands.
Thanks so much for joining us on another quest. Be sure to tune in next time to keep up with the continuing adventures of our crew. You can check out the video version of our adventures on YouTube, or you can listen to them as podcasts wherever podcasts are found. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow Heads Must Roll on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.